Previously on Twilight's Edge. Our protagonists fight a band of hellspawn rogues, led by one shovel-handed individual who brings the pain. Zekun is close to death, and Flint is just barely saved from meeting Pharasma. Though many foes are overcome, one bastard runs towards the door and calls out for their master to join the fray. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Twilight's Edge on the Tumble Through podcast.
Tumble through, because you missed me the last few ones. Tumble through.
Could someone do an Evan tumble through as well? Because he's not here today.
What does an Evan tumble through like?
I don't know. Anna, what does an Evan tumble through sound like?
Doesn't he always do like something like tumble through or something like that? I don't know.
Done.
Lower pitch, but yeah.
As always, I'm your host and GM, Krifu Bernal. My pronouns are he, him. And yes, we are without an Evan today, but yeah, alas, what can one do? But driving Nico's character today is Marcus.
Hi there. My name's Marcus, pronouns are he, him, and I am, as always, playing Zekun, the Grave Oracle, and I will also be piloting Nico, the Rainfall Orc Druid, and his little friend Fugo, as we find ourselves in quite a pickle. Ida, who are you going to be playing?
I'm going to be playing Sombro, who is a Kyle or Fetchling monk, and pronouns are she and they. My name is Ida. My pronouns are she and her, and it's nice to meet you. I've probably fed you stroop waffles, and if I haven't met you yet, I will feed you stroop waffles.
It's true. She does feed you stroop waffles.
Hey, Pan, who are you? How are those stroop waffles?
Hi, I'm Pan. He, they, she. The stroop waffles were fantastic. Thank you. I'm playing Flint, he, him, our kobold ruffian rogue. My secret stroop waffle fact is that I put mine over a cup of tea so it would get all nice and soft. But then I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then it kind of slipped into the tea. I still drank it.
I told you not to forget about it.
I got distracted. I've got cats, so. But it was really good, and I had another one later, and I was like, this is the way. So there you go. Yeah. I don't know. How about your stroop waffle actions?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Anna. They them pronouns. I'm gonna be playing Lo and he they pronouns. There, our Hellspawn Nephilim wizard. I am from Netherlands, so obviously I've had stroop waffles before.
Damn.
And yeah, I'm like Ida. I always gift them to people when I go places, and it's a really good gift because everyone loves them. I've never met someone who doesn't like them before.
Krifu, how are your stroop waffles?
I like stroop waffles.
I live for the person listening to who doesn't know what stroop waffle is, just going, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
In case you are listening to this, stroopwafels are basically a bit of divinity in baked form.
Yes.
And they have a very soft, delicious middle, and they are one of the best things you can get if you are ever in the Netherlands.
Or if you're into Ida or Anna.
It's amazing.
I do love that you told us about how good they are without telling us actually what they are.
I think we're underestimating also how many people know stroopwafels, because I think they've become pretty common also in other common quotation marks common.
You can get them at Costco in New York City. Yeah. And like bougie places in Brooklyn sell stroop waffles as well.
Okay, you know what? If you're listening to this and you Blue Sky us or post us or whatever they call it to message us Blue Sky, if you message us that you've got a stroop waffle, I will personally feel gutted that you're stroop-waffling, I guess. I don't know. I'll do something. I'll see it. I'll be like, wow, nice waffle, buddy. I don't know. Let's move on.
And just to briefly answer Pan's question, what are they? They are a waffle cookie. So it's kind of like a sweet brown sugar batter dough, and it is pressed between two pressed irons, as it's a waffle, with a syrupy middle in the middle. I've been giving out like the small ones, and I'm making like a shape in front of my face that is like half the size of my face, but you can get fresh ones like as big as your face. And you can also get them with caramel in the middle. You can get them dipped in chocolate. You get them with honey. You can get them. It's a cult, and Anna and I are proud to be doing the stroopwafel diplomacy.
Yes.
Cliff, do stroopwafels exist in this world, by the way?
They must now, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to get them.
If we get out of this, there has to be some stroopwafel.
We gotta go get a stroopwafel,
somewhere.
Yeah.
If we get out of this, so for the first time
No, let's go back to talking about Dropbox.
in Tumble Through history, we ended last time in the middle of initiative, in the middle of a combat, at the end of round 3 of this subterranean combat underneath this square in the ruins of Rhaego Cater. We found that these buildings have tunnels that go down into a shared network, and we stepped directly into the barracks and the heart of the Bastards of Erebus's lair. So we come back into initiative, and this hellbound rogue, this tiefling woman with bright red skin, blonde hair, and sort of brown like goat's horns, she has a throwing knife sticking out of her neck that Flint just jammed into there and frightened her with the Your Next ability. And so on her turn, she ran to the door, threw it open, and shouted, "Master, please help us." And for her third action, she will stride further into the room. Bringing us to the top of round 4. As this Nephilim woman runs in, she runs up to a tall, thin man wearing black and red clothes. Nothing like a robe, but there is definitely a lot of red stitching and banding on it. And on his clothes is an upside down red pentacle, as well as a mark on his forehead, like a birthmark, like in white, the same upside down pentacle in between his sort of bovine horns that come out. Behind him are 2 skeletons of wolves that are sort of standing there, not moving. And normally they would go first, but because they have yet to receive a proper order from their master, they are delaying until after his turn. They're not minions, but they do need some encouragement. As we see this man, this priest of Asmodeus, he sort of looks concerned, and we go back into the main room, the barracks, and Nico starts us off at the top of round 4.
Nico took a few good hits last time, and there's still some of the remnants of that gouging claw spell that Nico used when attacking the Mr. Shovelhand, as we so lovingly dubbed him. And but he also understands that this is not good news of what's going on here. He reaches with one action into his pockets to pull out a healing potion, and with the second action drink a minor healing potion on him for 4 points of healing. And for his third action, he's going to, just to be safe, raise his shield and brace for what's ever coming at this point.
Okay. Back in the room, we can see this priest, Palaveen, as we have learned his name outside of this combat previously. He sort of reaches in between his clothes to a healer's kit that's strapped onto him, and says, "Come here. What have they done to you?" As he is going to battle medicine this woman that's
I kind of like this guy.
Run up to him.
I mean, charisma can be a two-edged sword.
He succeeded, so he's going to apply 11 points of healing to the hellbound woman, bringing her back up to full.
Oh, that's a good roll.
Oh, we gotta get this person down.
I think we might have to scamper from this one.
Yeah.
He then will move here and to the south of the door, and so most of you should be able, Sombra and Flint at the very least can now see this same man as he pokes his head through. Yeah, and then for his third action, he says a word in Diabolic, and a shield very similar to the sort of fiery shield that Lowen summons begins to temporarily float around him as he shouts, defend us! And the wolf skeletons are going to do just that. They're going to do something called a Surge of Speed. For 2 actions, they will stride 3 times, but then be off guard till the end of their next turn.
Action compression, let's go.
I don't even think I need to stride 3 times, but I am going to. Just because they're, you know how dogs are. At least even wolf skeletons, they're overexcited.
Bork.
And for its 3rd action, we'll try and bite at Nico, who just healed himself. That's a critical hit. For a 28 total. Oh no.
Evan, I'm so sorry.
For 10 points of damage, piercing damage, as these bones come down on
Wait,
you.
let me quickly... Oh, wait, hang on. Druids have the shield block reaction.
Oh, and he raised his shield before he came in.
He raised his shield on his turn, so as this dog comes in, I want to use Nico's reaction to shield block, which means with the steel shield that this gentleman has, the steel shield has a hardness of 5, so the damage is reduced by 5, and then both the shield and Nico take 5 damage.
Okay.
So I'm gonna reduce the shield's hit points from 20 to 15, and Nico goes down from 17 to 12 hit points as this skeleton wolf just leaps at him, but Nico last minute pulls up the shield, and we just hear the dong sound as it impacts with the steel shield.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
We come to the second wolf skeleton, who is also going to do this sudden surge. Again, probably doesn't need it, but the overexcited boys.
Do their bone tails wag excitedly when they run over?
I think so. This one runs up behind Flint, and for its third action, will try and bite. Flint is super bloody.
A bad time.
No, this is really... Oh, no.
And that's going to hit for a 23.
Yep.
For 4 points of damage.
Flint goes...
Unless you've got a reaction?
No, nothing that will get plus 4. I can nimble dodge, but that's only gives me a plus 2.
Okay. So that's 4 hit points, and...
Yeah, Flint's back down again.
And a dying 2 already.
As the wolf downs Flint, jumps up and bites into him.
We can't really go now, friends, above the table.
Nope.
Yeah, it's really hard to drag someone out. That's true.
The fleeing is a lot more difficult, yes. Flint is the smaller of the group, but yeah. So yeah, Lowen, you hear things happening. You can even see one of the wolf skeletons that's just attacked Nico.
Is shouting something at the party of reaction?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that for later. I'm first gonna go back down because Lowen only moved away to heal some or to gather his bearings. He's gonna move back down next to Flint for my first action, and then for my other 2 actions, pull out a healing potion and I guess just pour it down Flint's throat.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes. And then,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and then I think I'll roll in a second, but Lowen's gonna shout at everyone let's get out of here now. That is
Nice.
5
Oh,
points.
thank you.
Okay.
So you're back up.
Flint, yo-yo.
Yep.
Going down, waking up, going down, waking up.
But also already at wounded 2 now. So the next time Flint goes down, he goes to dying 3 straight. So he gets really close to dying.
We go to Zekun.
What a shit show. Okay.
That aura of bless still emanating off of him.
Yes, there's still the golden motes in the all around him, imbuing his allies. But Zekun is also bleeding from multiple wounds and is starting to run low on magical fuel. So he hears what Lowen shouts, and he is going to... I'm so sorry, I need a little bit more time to think because this is tricky.
Yeah, I'm stressed. I get it.
Zekun is going into his cape, pulls out one of his potions, and chucks that down. First, that's 2 actions, pulling out and drinking. Goes for 3 points of healing. And some of the wounds close a little, but he's still very beaten up. That's 2 actions. And then for his third action, I'm just too far away from the party right now. I have to get a little bit closer. I'm gonna get myself over here, just to also make sure that my Bless Aura covers more of the room we're in case that will make a difference. Just lumbering up right next to Lowen and Sombra, and just grunts, ending his turn.
All right, Sombra.
All right. Above the table, we are moving.
I'm for a treat, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a TPK after otherwise. Yeah.
Okay. Above the table. I'm wondering, you let me know based on your experience with this, and excluding Krifu's lucky rolls. Can Sombra take a few hits and then on the next round run to make sure you guys don't take any more hits?
That's down to you, I guess, but these dogs don't seem fun to fight.
I think you can eat like 1, maybe 2 hits if you're lucky, but then you're also very critical hit point wise.
Plus, with 3 enemies,
Yes.
possibly 4 in the mix, that's a lot of chances to get caught off guard.
In that case, I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to move over. I'm going to move past Zakun and into the space on top of down to Nephilim. Go. I'll follow you. And I'm going to wail on this wolf skeleton that's been bothering Flint. Hopefully it's going to get some attention off Flint. And hopefully and also it's going to get harder to get around me to piss me off further. So we're going to Fury of Blows. I'm still affected by this wonderful bless. Let's fucking go. Let's get some
LFG.
revenge.
And the wolf boys are off guard due to their...
Wolf boys.
Oh, okay, that's a critical
Rolled a
roll.
natural 1. I'm going to hero point that now.
There you go.
Okay.
I rolled a total of 22.
There you go.
That's the way.
Nice.
As Sombra slides in and tries to sweep the dog off balance by kicking its back legs and doing a total of 8 damage.
Oh, nice. That's your max, right? Tasty.
And while the dog has his back feet up, Sombra is going to raise a foot vertically up in the air and bring her heel down on the base of the creature.
Big axe kick.
For her second crane hit.
Ooh.
For a critical hit,
nice.
total 24.
Nice.
Very nice.
14 damage.
Describe your destruction.
Yeah.
Sombra's heel just crushes down the back half of this wolf skeleton, and there's just a cloud of dust kicks up as these bones are just broken and shattered.
Nice.
That's 2 actions.
Okay.
And Sombra is going to sort of move for her third and final action, is going to move behind Nico and sort of for flavor, just grabbing his shoulder and like, get behind me, go. So hopefully as soon as Nico moves, the assholes will be facing Sombra.
Okay. Very cool.
But that's Sombra's turn.
Nice.
Great turn.
Go away.
We have this other rogue here who wanted to move behind into that spot where Sombra is, but
I know.
instead she is going to... So instead she's holding a dagger in her hand, and she sort of wiggles it in Nico's face, and she says, "Better listen to your friend." And she's going to feint and try and get him off guard. 21 is a success, so Nico will be off guard to her next attack as she is laughing and then lunges forward with the dagger, trying to pierce his heart, and misses with a 10. But she has a second action, so she'll take that map.
But he's no longer off guard to that, right?
It's only against the next melee attack.
Okay.
I like to imagine that it was Sombra's shoulder touch that slightly wriggled him just enough.
Moved him just out of the way, and she sort of frowns and goes to stab again and misses with an 8. Then we come back to the other Nephilim Hellbound rogue that ran into the room. She is
still frightened.
She still has frightened too. Was it
Because of that epic "You're next" from Flynn.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So she is still frightened. She'll swap back to her hand crossbow and hesitantly 5, 10, 15, 20 move into the corner of the barracks. She comes out of Palaveen's chambers, and for her third action will load the hand crossbow, because I think she had already shot once with it before. Come back to Nico, top of round 5.
Get out.
Nico feels how Sombra gently pulls his shoulders, and Nico, with his shield lowered, looking at the dent caused by the wolf skeleton, can I just spend all his 3 actions moving out? It's like, just get out into the hallway and get out. That's basically what's the goal here. Sure. Just moving out, getting like basically off the map, up through the hole again with all the movement that Nico has, taking Fugo, of course, along for the ride.
Okay.
Furious nodding is happening.
Nico is out.
At least one person who can tell the tale.
The Priest of Asmodeus is next. He is going to move into the room, 10 feet into the room. This man comes sweeping into the barracks. You have heard the description of Palaveen before, so when you see that white birthmark of the upside down pentacle on his forehead, you recognize him as the leader of the Bastards of Erebus. And he grasps at a holy symbol of Asmodeus, a iron holy symbol around his neck. And he says, "Yes, your best bets are to get out of here alive is to flee. Now!" And I'm going to roll 1d4 and see Flint's 1, Zekun's 2, Lowen's 3, and Sombra's 4. Zekun's 2, so Zekun's going to get this fear spell. And as he says, "Now!" these diabolic infernal energies sort of come over you, Zekun, and you can hear like spirits like laughing and haunting and wailing in pain, and the smell of sulfur fills your nose. Please make a will save.
That's a 16. I'm going to spend my hero point re-rolling that.
Okay.
I don't want to fall to this spell.
Y'all spend those quick.
And we re-roll that into a 19, which is exactly what I needed.
yes.
To succeed.
And as like these haunting ghosts like try to intimidate me, the motes of light from my bless spell just shove them aside, and I glare at the servant of Asmodeus.
Still frightened 1, but it's not frightened 2.
He doesn't have to know.
Unlike me, Zekun has a good poker face. Okay, we come to the still remaining wolf skeleton, who is just going to step up and target Lowen.
Yep,
Leave our wizard alone.
I'm right. Yeah, so I'm right.
You
in
don't
this
want
path.
to take revenge, you mongrel? Where's your pack mentality?
It just starts off with a jaws strike.
Fleaver and runt? You couldn't even have fleas. There's no meat on you.
Misses
You don't
with
even
a
get enough for
10.
soup.
Misses, okay, great.
Samra is talking a lot of trash, so she will get the second jaws attack, which is a critical miss.
Nice.
All right.
Just sidesteps that.
That one just went woof, so to speak.
Cool. We come to Flint, who is prone, but has just had healing potion poured down his throat thanks to Lowen.
Yeah, Flint sputters, eyes open, looks at Low and goes, "Appreciate it. What's the plan?"
Run.
Roger that. I'm gonna one action to get up, and then one action to. I could slap that wolf.
You're going to slap the wolf?
I could slap that wolf, but I want my stuff. So nope, I'm gonna grab my stuff and scamper out.
Okay.
God, I really want to slap that wolf, but yeah, Flint makes her way out up the stairs.
All right, we come to Lowen. You just dodged a bite attack from this
Yep.
wolf skeleton. What are you doing?
First action step, I've learned. So I'm going to move 5 feet first, so hopefully not trigger anything, and then use the rest of my running action to also run away from here.
Then we've got Zekun and Sombra. I assume you're doing the same.
Zekun sees the party members running there and quickly tosses Sombra also a nod and then heads out.
Question. To qualify as getting out, do I need to have spent all 3 actions striding? Or just is one of my movements enough to say Sombra got out?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. What do you have? 30 or 25? 25.
25.
You're not
But-
at that monk fast level yet.
Yet.
But
If that's
also,
a
they
thing.
might, if you move, that's why a reason why I stepped, if you move away, it might have a reaction.
It might.
I'll eat
don't
it.
know,
But my question nonetheless is to
Yeah, if you spend one going upstairs, then we'll call it.
what Sombra would like to do is spend one action to go into her bag and pull out a dart.
Okay.
Second action will be to try and toss it at the priest, at Palaveen.
Okay, there is a wolf in your way. There is, so just a little bit of cover there.
The intent, I feel, matters.
I understand.
No shit, if I do that, I have to drop crane sense.
Oh,
I'd like to retcon that and just kind of wail on the wolf in front of
Okay.
me as a last message then. So I'll use one action to crane strike the wolf in front of me. Yes, you see Sombra sort of take half step backwards, but instead momentum forward and try to kick the undercarriage of the skeleton.
that's
For
a hit.
14, because it's off guard.
Is the skeleton technically still off guard?
Oh, no.
I think it should only be off guard until the end of its turn because the sudden charge.
It's
it
true.
hadn't
You're
sudden
right.
charged.
Thank you for
Okay.
reminding me.
So with my total hit was a 14, does that hit?
That does not hit anymore. Its AC is 15.
I'll do one more then. For an 18 on the second hit.
So the first one, like, you punch the bones, but they're too hard, or something about your stance was off, perhaps. But that
I
second
was already
one,
moving into retreat.
that second one gets the follow through,
4 damage.
and some cracks appear in the wolf skeleton's rib cage.
And with that, I'll shoot the priest a dirty glare as I'll spend. I'll step back and then use the rest of my movement stride out.
Flee, you fools! Flee, and rue the day you dared mess with the Bastards of Erebus! As we begin running through the streets of Rego Cater, the Nephilim rogues are following behind, shooting their hand crossbows until eventually the chase ends. And you find yourselves... what direction did we run in?
I think it would make sense that if we're running anywhere, we're trying to get somewhere where it's safe. And Nico would probably know how to get to the Ramble Gardens in that direction.
It's not far from here.
Yeah, so, and depending on what time it is as well, that sounds like the safest, closest spot we could run to.
Yeah, it's 5:15. So maybe about the time we finish running, it's almost 5:30. And while we still have a good 2 hours left of sunlight, you know that it's best not to be rushing in the twilight hours, trying to find some place to rest your heads. The party stumbles underneath the cooling branches of the outskirts of the Ramble Gardens. The Arboretum is on the southern side, it's sort of southeastern side of the Ramble Gardens. You're coming in from the north side. It's a little confusing, but Nico and Fugo sort of assure you that they can find their way from here, and they sort of move about 10 feet in front of the rest of you to start leading the way. Unless we want to take a break and tend to wounds or anything.
I think once we're here safe,
Yeah,
that's where
absolutely.
we would take that time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. How is everybody? Let me open up the party sheet.
Bad, stabbed.
All right.
Sombra goes into her bag, pulls out, you hear the clinking of glass, and she pulls out a healing potion and just extends it forward, and whoever needs it can take it.
Yep, Flint will have that, sure.
I was gonna say, I think
Yeah.
Flint needs it the most.
There's an extra minor potion in the stash as well.
Oh, Flint, take that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, Flint like double chugs potions.
If we are in a safe spot, we can also save the potion resources and have Sekun take some rounds patching people up. That will deal both with the wounded conditions we have going on and would heal some stuff at
Okay,
least.
and then we'll top up with the potion we need to. Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. So once we find in the Ramble Gardens like a spot where we can just sit down, catch our breath, Sekun like sets up shop, basically pulls out his stuff while also very, very basically covering most of his worst wounds, but already taking stock who to bandage up first.
Do yourself, you fool!
Flint is going first.
Okay.
And Flint, you are... How many hit points do you have right now, Flint?
That's an excellent question that is definitely in the single digits. 5.
Ooh, this is not the time for risky surgery then. I'll save my favorite feat
If
for
Flint
later.
watches you start going to risky and goes, well, actually, maybe I might just do the potions, actually.
Zekun is actually busy warming up a blade and then is no. And then goes and makes the treat wounds for Flint. That is... sweet. That's a critical failure on it. And I don't have a hero point to reroll that.
No.
So on the treat wounds, what would happen on a critical failure? The target takes 1d8 damage, actually. So... Yeah, I rolled that one. You take 7 damage.
I die again. I die again.
Okay, so as that happens, Zekun's still also weakened from his own wounds. Weakened, and maybe his vision blurry, his hands not steady. There's just a slip of the hand, too much pressure on a wound, and Flint goes unconscious again.
Doesn't that give me dying 3?
You go to dying 3, but dying 4 means you're dead. You're not dead yet. And as that happens, Zekun, you see this moment where there's just anger boiling underneath the surface. And with gritted teeth, he says, "Someone, give him a potion."
I'm on it. And Sombra expends one of her potions, or takes one from the stash and shoves it down Flint's gullet.
I follow him and goes, "Come on!"
And Flint gets 4 hit points back.
I think watching this, Lowen just sort of approaches and puts a hand on Zekun's shoulder and just goes why don't you rest first before you kill us all?
I know how to save people.
Flint on the ground goes, "Really?"
And Zekun just immediately turns back to Flint and is already thinking about how to get him up. You get the feeling that this is a really sensitive topic for Zekun.
I think Lowen has his hand on Zekun's shoulder still, and this time we'll give it a little squeeze and go just rest first. Help yourself, then help others. You're of no use to anyone here if you're dead too.
Neither are any of you when you're dead. Flint, can you hear me?
Flint's just lying on the ground, eyes closed, and goes, "Yep. I think Lowen's got a point. I've seen you do some amazing things, but you're also draining yourself when you do it, mentally and physically. Get some rest. I'm going to just lie here with my eyes closed, and somebody can put another potion in my mouth." I open my mouth.
Oh no.
You look like a goddamn baby bird. If Zekun's medkit is lying around, Sombra can attempt to treat some wounds.
Honestly, potions feel... I'm really feeling the potions right now. I think I'm getting a taste for them.
If we fail again, I think... If we fail again, Flint just dies.
So I'll just drink a potion. It's fine.
Also, mechanically speaking, Flint currently is immune to treat wounds.
Wow.
So
For an hour.
For an
You
hour.
know what? I'm happy to say that mechanically speaking, yes, and also flavor speaking, that's just Flint saying, "No thanks, I'm good, really. I'm just going to drink this potion. I'm okay."
Yeah, get away from me.
Marcus as the player understands. Zekun thinks differently.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Zekun just, if Sombra is eyeing the medicine kit, he's just gonna grab it and he's gonna start patching up himself.
In the second 10 minutes, then, Nico can cast Cornucopia and give a piece of fruit to Flint.
Again, mouth just open, just drop it in there.
I will use those 10 minutes to get a focus spell back at least.
Okay, so Flint, take another 9 points of healing back from the fruit.
Awesome. Okay, all right, I'm back in double digits.
Zekun basically cleans his own wounds, puts some ointments on them and sits there.
Okay.
Well, Sombra, Nico was busy cornucopia-ing. So if you want to try treating his wounds while he was summoning a cornucopia, we had, if you don't, otherwise it's just 10 minutes where you did nothing, which is fine. Like capitalism, we don't always need to be doing something every minute of the...
Yes.
You know what? Let's have Sombra try it. And if she fails, that'll be some good RP.
Yeah.
So she notices Nico like moving his arms, doing incantations quietly, and she just sort of with her foot tries to pull the medkit closer. You might hear a small scraping. She kicks it up under her toe like a soccer ball, bounces up, catches it, and quickly tries to apply a gauze to one of Nico's exposed wounds.
Like
So
the
let's
stab
do
wounds in his back.
Let's try a treat wounds. It's a failure.
It's not a critical failure, so very gently
Stop.
put some gauze back there.
Okay, I can't. You have to. Oh, shit.
We need to, like,
No.
meet a doctor or something at some point. Like, when
I might
Zakun gets
know one.
rattled, they have a hard time. And the rest of us are all just very bad at patching
Yeah.
ourselves and each other up.
What the fuck? Everyone.
I said,
How?
I did say there might be someone behind the door, and then everyone already went in.
Okay. So they're not going to be moving from that nest anytime soon. Night will fall. Did Sombra feel like they got a clean getaway?
They saw the direction you ran in.
Shit. Should I go out and run around? Make a diversion?
Oh, all by yourself, going out against them all alone?
I'll be
You think some
fucking
kind of
coming
solo?
back.
Yeah, but also any good escape plan, you don't run right towards where you're going. You make loops and stuff.
It will be night soon. They will not go out either. We're fine for the night. We can figure it out in the morning.
We might be fine if they visit us again, but we'll... And she looks around. This area?
Figure it out.
Fuck, we're endangering more...
Here's the thing, and Flint sits up groggily. That fella mentioned he was the leader of the Bastards, right? Now, from what we saw, it doesn't look like it's that big an operation. Not as big as we were led to believe. Certainly not as deadly. I mean, all things being considered. At the end of the day, it'll take him time to replenish his forces. If we strike first thing in the morning, we should still have the upper hand on them. If they've scarpered, well, we'll have to find clues. But the sooner we get them, the better we'll be.
We'll be on high alert.
The advantage is also we know the lay of the land now as well. We know what their compound is set up like.
Yes.
We can enter prepared.
They will be on high alert now.
Besides,
Says Fugo.
that guy with the shovel hands is all dead now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Plus those nasty twins. I mean, we've made our work easier.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's right. Sombra, I wanted to ask you, everything was going so fast. I do a very tired air quotes, friend with the black lipstick.
That was them.
Yeah. Well, at least that's one op crossed off your list, I guess.
The list. Yeah.
You seem
Sure.
like the kind of person to have a list.
I'll keep that one to myself. Caught them indiscriminately killing people. Indicator. So fuck whatever happens to them.
Well, what happened to them with us? So fuck them.
Does anyone have a healing kit I can borrow, by the way?
Actually, here, I'm going to toss you. I've got a potion spare. I'm going to look at Lauren and say, yeah, I owe you probably one or two. And I'm going to toss some A potion to use.
Does it? Yes, you do. And we'll take it, and we'll pop it.
Yeah. Flint grins, winces, and lies back down.
Yeah. That's 8 hit points back for me. I am up to full.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right,
Says Fugo.
let's head back to the Arboretum.
Let's.
Yeah, sounds good. Hey, Fugo, are you from here?
No, Nico and I have been spending a lot of time in the Arboretum. The Leshies, they're our new friends.
All right, nice. Well, as much as I hate to say it, we're going to be relying on you to help us with making more friends.
Oh, don't worry. They like the fleshy folk fine enough.
Great. Well, shall we?
You see Sombra like really hesitating to follow.
Something on your mind, Sombra?
We get in there. We're responsible for any shit that happens.
All right.
To them. We drag them into this fucking mess.
Look, Sombra, I understand what you're saying, but put it this way. The bastards are pressing everybody. The Hell Knights are pressing after the bastards. Eventually...
We would have led them right here.
Eventually, they'll come here anyway. It's unlikely, as the guy said, that they're going to come out at night. As long as we're quick in the morning, we get the drop on them. We can resist any other bloodshed.
We set up a watch at the night. Make some extra circles around the Arboretum. Keep an eye out. Make sure that the Leshies can rest.
And if we make some friends, we can ask them to help.
Sombra does have a point. We bring danger towards them, and it is then our responsibility to make sure that they're not immediately punished for our actions.
I can take watch right here. They don't have to be burdened with my wonderful countenance.
Well, you're not staying out here alone.
Griffith, would I be able to roll underworld lore to see if I maybe know of maybe like a safe house or an abandoned building in this area that we could instead stay in?
Yeah, I could work out better.
You wouldn't have to roll. There are many abandoned houses in this area where you could stay.
That I know
Whether
are
or
safe.
not it's safe, yeah,
That's
that's
what I
much
wanna-
harder, especially in the darkness. You don't know what kind of shadow beasts are going to appear, and yeah, I mean, building yourself a fire is all good and well, but that doesn't necessarily deter the more stronger beasts.
But can I roll potentially for that? If I know of any places here that are marked as safe or that have been used before with my underworld?
I think what Krifu meant is that we can't assume any place is safe here.
Okay.
That basically we can find somewhere to stay, and we could set up like our own ways to keep it safe, but we can't guarantee safety anywhere. It's
like there's that apartment complex where some people live. You could go there, and maybe that, like, even that doesn't seem safe. But the Arboretum is a very well-known safe zone. And there is the cover tracks exploration action. In case anyone wants who's trained in survival.
Yeah, I'll take a pot shot.
Might want to try covering your tracks. Just because of Sombra's concerns about leading the bastards back here.
which are totally valid.
Which is why I pulled that up, because I was like, I think there is something to do with that.
Flint says, look, Sombra, we can do this both ways. We make sure we don't leave a path, and we can go and find safety. I hope you will cover up our tracks.
You can probably do the better. I'll cover your back while you do that. Let's do that now.
Lowen, can you pick a building out for us to huddle up in? You seem to have some familiarity with these places.
Potentially, but it might not be entirely safe either.
We'll keep watch anyway.
With the night pressing in, civilization is probably our safest bet, especially civilization in the company of friends. Even if we're safe from...
Not at their expense.
Right, we gotta make a decision at some point. Otherwise, it will be dark.
Yeah, we have to choose what's going on, guys.
Cover our tracks. Let's find some place to hide out, and then we can talk huddled around a fire.
Not really one for camping out in the night in the city, but fair play if it's going to be that way.
The Ramble Gardens is a neighborhood made up of very much expansive viras and veneos, so like manors and estates that were once owned by the nobility here, who have long been lost to the nature. And so you are able to find a big manor, essentially, that is sort of fallen in on itself. The wood has been rotting. It's a little bit exposed, but some trees and bushes have grown up enough to where you could get into a parlor room somewhere and even like use a fireplace if hopefully the chimney hasn't like collapsed inwardly as well.
I will also probably pull out the what's it called? Everlight crystal. I will pull out the Everlight crystal as well to put, I guess, away from the fire to create even more light.
Perfect.
Yeah, Zakun is like looking at whatever kind of furniture or other wood that was left behind here, breaks that up, puts that in the chimney, and starts making a
couple
fire.
Of fires at like any points of egress, doorways, whatever. Not in the doorway, but like near the doorways, whatever. Just so we don't have any beasties wandering in. So a couple of small fires and one large fire for ourselves.
Yeah. Make sure that the place is as safe as possible before we meet back at whatever kind of living room this house has.
I think Lowen would put the crystal then, if we're doing like windows and doors, we'll put a crystal in front of a door so we're not like blocking ourselves with the fire if we have to get out.
Smart play.
It is kind of a bit of a beacon, though.
What do we know about the behavior of shadow creatures? Do they go towards light?
They typically stay away from it, and they won't like appear in places that are lit.
Right.
Very much Minecraft rules.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're like Endermen. They're like, they're like,
Oh, you can't look them in the eye?
But the issue there is, of course, that, I mean...
Then bastards.
Exactly. We're safe from the shadow beast, but then we've got a big old beacon pointing out where we are.
Can I recall knowledge on them?
If you want to do a blind occultism check to recall
Yes,
knowledge
I
on
will.
the shadow creatures.
I will.
Sombra would like to do a perimeter walk, and she kind of grimaces a bit, but as she is walking around the borders of the broken building, her skin is glowing, and she'll turn on her bright fetchling trait.
Oh, cool. I don't think we've seen this yet.
As a Kayal, she has the capacity to expend light from her
That's
person.
cool. I like that.
It's candlelight, but it's still enough to make one perhaps feel a little bit more secure in this city. And Sombra, you grew up here, so this has been your sort of natural survival instinct. Literally, it's in your DNA to stay safe from
At night.
shadow creatures.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's also in Sombra's DNA to have poor nights of sleeping, have adrenaline running at all hours of the night, constantly feeling like you're falling out of a tree. But she's used to it, so she's not complaining. She's much rather just be set to a task.
Lowen, so the light you set up, you feel pretty safe and secure, and think there's no way shadow creatures would ever come to what we've got here.
Right. Okay.
You also know that from what you've seen, they very much fear the light, but sometimes they also hate it, and sometimes they also like secretly desire it.
All right. But they typically stay away. They don't cross the border, essentially, if you will.
Typically,
Typically,
you
from what I know,
believe.
obviously. Yeah, so I believe. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Right. I mean, there's so many different kinds as well, so like it's very hard, I guess, to know everything about all of them.
The immunities have gone away for treat wounds. So if we want to do another round of treats, Nico's going to cast that cornucopia. I think he's going to eat the fruit himself.
Zekun is going to treat wounds, and starting with Flint. I failed the check, so he's again immune to that, but...
So I can't even heal myself. God damn it.
I will move on to Nico, and
Oh!
another failure. The rolls are really low, but
Yeah,
Nico
I feel like this suits Sekun's state of mind.
Zekun, basically, after trying to pick him up, he's just leaving his healer's kit behind, and he goes up to like the upper floors, retreats from the group without a word.
Sombra chases.
Flint, take another cornucopia fruit, because I can do this like every 20 minutes, basically, for 10 hit points.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you can do that every 20 minutes, then we can, I think, assume that everyone will be at full health in the morning.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we'll leave it there. So Sombra chases after Zekun upstairs.
Mm-hmm. You dropped this. Sombra holds up the healer's kit.
I'm very aware of it. Go back to the others.
Can you humor me for a fucking second?
Oh, as you humor other people?
Yes. Stay still. I need to get better at this. Not because of what happened today, just in general. And Sombra would like to treat Zekun's wounds.
Failure.
All right, just
It tipped over.
Damn.
Yeah.
It was almost like an 18.
Stop it.
I appreciate the effort, Sombra.
Thank you for humoring me.
We got really close there.
Yeah,
Flint was almost dead.
but he's not dead.
And the moment I tried to patch him up, I almost kill him again.
But you didn't.
I didn't come to this city to kill again. I didn't come to this city to have others die in my presence again.
Oh, you're God?
And I think you know a thing or two about dying.
I know a bit. I also know I'm not God. A god. And you come pretty fucking close to one. That's me complimenting you. But shit still happens. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine to have a second of self-pity and wallowing. That's okay. You want to take a hit at me? Get it out? Helps me a lot. And Sombra just kind of drops her arms in her guard. Go for it. But after that's over, darkness goes away, and you gotta face a different kind of darkness. So go on.
That's the thing, darkness doesn't go away. I could punch you 1,000,000 times. I could break your bones in your body. I could throw you off this...
Do it!
I am done with that. I did not come here for that.
Okay. What did you come here to?
I came here to heal. Not wounds, not scars. I came to heal people. But all I've been doing in these past days is, in these attempts to heal, is murder more and potentially have others caught in the crossfire. If I would have wanted that, I would have stayed out in Belkson. I would have rejoined some other horde of a warlord to the front line and murdered again. I have not been given a second chance at this to squander it. And here I am squandering it. So, how's that for a portion of darkness?
Sombra kind of looks at the wall, finds a piece of wallpaper or something torn off, and smacks it. And then you see all these small white particles kind of immediately coalescing together and encompassing that shard sticking out from the wall, like a torch, but emanating as Sombra casts the spell light on it.
I'm sorry. You're not here to suffer under my anger.
It's gonna take a lot more than a temper tantrum to have me feel some sort of suffering. I've been there. And yeah, I get to be a child about it too. Doesn't win me popularity contests.
I appreciate you checking in on me, but I'd rather be alone for a bit.
Come morning, you can do all those things you said you're going to do. Or try to. And if it doesn't work out, there's another morning after that to do those things. There's going to be a lot more mornings.
And he's about to say something in response, but then just nods and takes a position by some old window here to just stare at the night setting in.
Sombra starts walking off, sort of stops after a bit, looks over her shoulders. Personally, you've been responsible for making sure a lot of people do see those mornings, myself included, more than once. So no, you're not squandering it. Thanks. Feel better. And she walks off.
I think while the other two are up, Lowen sort of, I guess, settled now. Everyone, they're in a safe-ish place. We'll be in a room with Flint and just, I think maybe like hearing Sakoon's voice like raise upstairs, but not really hearing what he's saying, and just looks at Flint and goes like, things are a bit tense here now, aren't they?
Say that again. It's a tough time for all around, I think. Sakoon seems to be particularly having it hard, and Sombra is always hard, so who knows?
Yeah.
Nico's passed out like a light, which is I envy him, frankly.
Yeah, me too. Well, I hope I figure it out by morning. I don't feel like dealing with any more of these kind of arguments. Do you have a needle and thread by any way? And I think if you see that like Lowen's white shirt is covered in blood around his shoulder with like a cut from where he was hit. And he's just, I think he's been trying to like some water and soap, try and get some of the blood out. I feel like he has some experience with that. But it's still like a massive cut, and there's no closet or wardrobe anywhere nearby.
Let me check my inventory. I've got so much stuff in my thing. Although I don't have a needle and thread though on my backpack.
I'm sure the healer's kit has one for stitching.
A healer's
Cool.
kit would have
Perfect.
one for sutures, if you have
I
a
do,
healer's
yeah.
kit.
He goes, oh, yeah, on me somewhere. And he goes to his bag, pulls out a needle and goes, hey, if you want to get that out right, you want to wash it downwards. You got to scrub downwards with that.
I think Lowen looks at Flint for a moment, and almost like I think this look this sort of changes to one of respect for a little bit, because obviously Lowen's been kind of iffy around Flint, with Flint being the Tari, Lowen being a criminal, although no one knows that yet, no one has asked about it. But we'll just give him sort of a nod and like a grin, like, I'll remember that, thank you. And we'll take the needle and thread. He'll take the shirt off, otherwise you cannot fix it. But Flint, you would see that on his upper arm, around his shoulder as well, there are more scales, just like the ones at the back of his arms. But he just calmly puts the shirt in his lap, and they'll just start trying to fix it up for now.
Flint sits in the darkness, and after a while, almost like another habit he's picked up from around, starts to roll himself a shonky cigarette. After a while, he looks at Lowen and proffers it to them.
Lowen look at it and like, I wouldn't mind, thank you.
Of course. There you go. Learn this the goblin way.
Take it.
That's how you get the real tie out of it.
I can't say I've ever tried it before, but...
Oh, I mean, it's a real acquired taste. It's what you generally have when you haven't got anything else. But after a while, it goes down smooth. Listen, Lowen.
Yes?
Understand me when I say that as the Tari, it is my job to look after the city. But also understand me when I say that as the Tari, I am aware that certain crime can be overlooked, can even be useful for a city, especially in the armistice of catching larger problems.
Right, yes. I was hoping you would have that kind of thought, yes.
Well, let's just say that I've seen a lot of crimes in my time, and as much as your airs and fancies do give you a sense of above it allness, I know someone's been in the gutter.
Let's just say that maybe this partnership is mutually beneficial. I can keep an eye out of the happenings around here. I have quite some enemies that I wouldn't mind if they got taken care of for me in return. It's nice having someone on the inside, I suppose, with the Datari.
As long as you don't get me in too much trouble, I'm sure we can work together on a few things. My main catch will always be the big fish. If you're not hurting anybody, absolutely can work together. You know what? You ever meet a fella called Bondi 7 Sticks? Goblin, about yay high.
Above table, have I?
I don't know.
Can I roll?
Bondi's a runner, so you may have just seen him about. He's just he's a low-level crim.
I'll say Lowen might have heard the name at least. So I think Lowen goes like, yes, that does ring a bell. Why?
Old friend. He is also indulgent in the underworld, shall we say. Although you wouldn't know it to look at him. If you ever see him around, though, little goblin fella, drop my name. He'll look after you.
I think when Flynn says that, this person will look after him if they just drop Flynn's name. Lowen looks at Flynn for a moment, almost trying to study him to see if it's true or not, and then just gives a nod and goes, appreciate it. And, well, I know quite a few people. If you are ever in need of something that I could potentially aid with, let me know.
Appreciate it. And Flint grins, and it's all teeth, these big shark teeth. But it's not a malicious grin. It's just how he looks. You don't think we have any booze in here, do you? As we listen to the night go by.
Yeah.
And as the camera zooms out, we can see materializing in the deepest, darkest corners of shadow around this manor and these overgrown gardens. Small, shadowy rats that creep forward towards the light of the Everlight crystal that Lowen has placed and sort of sniffs at the light and then shakes its little head with its red eyes and runs the other direction. And that is where we'll end our episode today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Cool. Tumble Through presents Twilight's Edge, a Pathfinder 2e actual play of the Council of Thieves adventure path, converted from Pathfinder 1e. Tumble Through uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's fan content policy, paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Tumble Through is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com.
He got stabbed by our oracle.
Yeah, Marcus, if your character kills one of the other PCs through trying to treat their wounds, you have to pay for their next character's art.
You know what? Yeah, that's fair.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.